What if I told you there's an angel in the Bible that looks nothing like what you've seen in movies or paintings? No wings, no robes, no harp. Instead, it's a mass of spinning wheels covered in eyes. These strange beings are called Ofanim, and they're part of God's inner circle. They can see everything, past, present, and future, all at once. But why do they need so many eyes? And what happens when a human sees one? Picture this. You're by the Chabar River in ancient Babylon. The air is thick with the scent of mud and spices. Suddenly the sky splits open. Your heart races as you see something impossible. This is what happened to Ezekiel. He saw strange wheels appear from the heavens, but these weren't ordinary wheels. Ezekiel called them wheel within a wheel. Imagine two giant rings, one inside the other, moving in all directions at once. These wheels were covered in eyes, hundreds of them blinking and darting around. It was as if the very air was watching Ezekiel. How would you feel if you saw that? The wheels moved in ways that broke every law of nature. They glided through the air without touching the ground. Ezekiel said they made a sound like the roar of rushing waters. Can you imagine that noise? These wheels are actually a type of angel called Ofanim. They're part of God's heavenly chariot, carrying his throne across the universe. Ezekiel describes it like this.
Above the vault, over their heads, was what looked like a throne of lapis lazuli, and high above, on the throne, was a figure like that of a man. Ezekiel 1:26.
But why would God create angels that look like this? The answer might surprise you. These Ofanim aren't just any angels. They carry the weight of divine presence throughout all creation. If these Ofanim can see everything with their many eyes, what do they see when they look at you? Do they know your deepest secrets, your greatest fears, your hidden potential? The thought is both comforting and terrifying, isn't it? The Bible gives us more clues about these fascinating beings. In the book of Daniel, we get another glimpse of God's throne.
His throne was flaming with fire, and its wheels were all ablaze. Daniel 7:9.
These fiery wheels are the Ofanim, constantly in motion, constantly watching. Why would God reveal such strange and powerful beings to humans? Perhaps it's to remind us that the spiritual realm is far more complex than we can imagine. The Ofanim challenge our understanding of what an angel can be. But the strangeness of the Ofanim is just beginning. Their appearance is bizarre enough, but their abilities and purpose go far beyond what you might expect. What can these cosmic observers actually do with all those eyes? And why do they never, ever blink? Let's dive deeper into the incredible abilities of the Ofanim's eyes. These aren't just ordinary eyes. They're cosmic supercomputers, each one processing information in ways we can barely imagine. Picture this. The Ofanim can see the past, present, and future all at once. They're watching dinosaurs roam the earth, seeing you read this right now, and glimpsing events that haven't happened yet, all simultaneously. It's mind-bending, isn't it? But why do they need so many eyes? The answer might surprise you. These eyes maintain the very fabric of the universe. In Jewish mystical tradition, they're called windows to the divine mind. Each eye captures and processes different aspects of reality at the same time. They're not just watching, they're keeping the cosmos running smoothly. Think of it like a massive control room with countless screens, each showing a different part of the universe. The Ofanim are constantly monitoring everything, making sure God's will is carried out across all of creation. It's a big job, and that's why they need so many eyes. But there's more. The Ofanim's eyes also transmit divine messages. They're part of a complex network of celestial communication, sending and receiving information on spiritual wavelengths we can't detect. Imagine the universe's most advanced Wi-Fi network, but instead of cat videos, it's transmitting the very will of God. Now, you might wonder, if these beings can see everything, including the future, why don't they stop bad things from happening? Here's where it gets interesting. The Ofanim are guardians of divine justice. Their role isn't to change what they see, but to ensure cosmic order is maintained. They watch over the grand plan, making sure everything unfolds as it should. The Bible gives us a glimpse of how powerful these beings are. Ezekiel 1:18 says, "Their rims were high and awesome, and all 4 rims were full of eyes all around." This description hints at the awe-inspiring nature of these cosmic observers. But seeing everything comes at a price. The Ofanim never sleep, never rest. Their eyes are always open, always watching. Can you imagine what that's like? To never close your eyes, to always be aware of everything happening everywhere. It's a burden we can hardly comprehend. As we uncover more about the Ofanim, we'll find even more mind-bending truths about these incredible beings. But first, we need to understand where they fit in the grand hierarchy of angels. Are they at the top or somewhere in the middle? The answer might shock you, and it reveals even more about their crucial role in the cosmos. Let's dive into the angelic hierarchy and where the Ofanim fit in. Angels aren't just a random group of heavenly beings. They have a complex system of ranks, each with specific roles and levels of authority. It's like a divine org chart with 3 main tiers. At the top, we have the seraphim, cherubim, and thrones. Next come the dominions, virtues, and powers. Finally, there are the principalities, archangels, and angels. Each group has its own special duties and closeness to God. But here's where things get tricky. The Ofanim don't fit neatly into this system. They're unique, powerful, and hard to categorize. Some scholars say they're the same as the thrones, putting them in that top tier. Others argue they're completely separate. It's like trying to rank something that's unlike anything else in creation. Why does this matter? An angel's rank tells us a lot about its power and purpose. The higher the rank, the closer to God, and the more important the role. So figuring out where the Ofanim stand can reveal their true significance. Here's where it gets really interesting. Some Jewish traditions, including the teachings of Maimonides, place the Ofanim at the very top of the angelic hierarchy, even above the seraphim and cherubim. Why? Because of their unique role and closeness to God's true nature. The Ofanim's job is extraordinary. They're described as the bearers of God's throne, responsible for carrying the seat of divine power across the universe. Ezekiel 1:26 gives us a glimpse of this incredible scene. Above the vault over their heads was what looked like a throne of lapis lazuli, and high above on the throne was a figure like that of a man. This role puts the Ofanim in direct, constant contact with the divine. They're not just messengers or guardians. They're the very vehicles of God's movement and presence in the universe. It's hard to imagine a more significant position, but with great power comes great responsibility. The Ofanim's high rank and unique abilities come with incredible burdens. Imagine being able to see everything, all the time, and never being able to look away. What kind of toll would that take, even on a divine being? As we continue to unravel the mysteries of the Ofanim, we'll discover that their position in the heavenly hierarchy is just the beginning. Their role and abilities go far beyond what we've explored so far. But first, we need to address a burning question. What happens when these cosmic beings come face to face with humans? The answer might scare you, and it's not something everyone is prepared to hear. Encountering an Ofanim is a life-changing event that goes beyond our normal understanding. While we've discussed the physical effects before, let's focus on the rare individuals who've faced these cosmic beings and come back transformed. Take Rabbi Benjamin of Tiberias, for example. He didn't just see an Ofanim, he experienced a direct encounter of divine knowledge. Each eye of the wheel-like being showed him different aspects of God's law. Instead of breaking his mind, this encounter expanded it in ways we can barely imagine. But why do some people survive these encounters while others don't? It might have to do with their spiritual preparation or their ability to let go of what they think they know about reality. Those who make it through often describe feeling an overwhelming sense of peace and purpose afterward. Imagine suddenly understanding the deepest mysteries of the universe or feeling a connection to the divine that goes beyond words. It's like their minds have been rewired to see a higher reality. Some even report gaining new abilities like heightened intuition or the power to heal. But here's where things get really interesting. These encounters don't just change how people think, they transform their entire worldview. Many say all their doubts about faith vanish in an instant, replaced by an unshakable knowledge of cosmic order. This brings up an important question. Why would God create angels that are so hard for humans to understand? Maybe the Ofanim are meant to challenge us, to push us beyond our limits and consider possibilities we never dreamed of. In the Bible, the prophet Ezekiel describes his vision of the Ofanim in vivid detail.
Their rims were high and awesome, and all four rims were full of eyes all around. Ezekiel 1:18.
This strange description has puzzled scholars for centuries. But what if there's more to these beings than we realize? Some people have suggested that Ezekiel might have been describing something beyond angelic encounters. Could there be a connection between these ancient visions and modern reports of unexplained alien phenomena? The idea that the Ofanim might be aliens instead of angels has caught the attention of many people. This theory suggests that ancient humans mistook extraterrestrial visitors for divine beings. Why? Because the Ofanim's description stands out from other angels in the Bible. Think about modern UFO sightings. People often report seeing strange lights, objects moving in impossible ways, and feeling awe or fear. Sound familiar? It's a lot like Ezekiel's encounter with the Ofanim. Some researchers even suggest the Ofanim could be a kind of advanced AI or cosmic monitoring system. But here's the thing. Could we be reading too much into an ancient text? Not everyone buys into this theory. Many scholars argue that we need to understand the Ofanim in their proper context. The Bible isn't a science fiction novel. It's a religious text with deep spiritual meanings. These critics say that trying to turn angels into aliens misses the whole point of Ezekiel's vision. Plus, there's the question of proof. While the ancient astronaut theory is fun to think about, there's no hard evidence that aliens ever visited Earth in ancient times. We have to be careful not to let our modern ideas color how we read ancient texts. So where does this leave us? The truth is, we may never know for sure what Ezekiel saw by that river in Babylon. Maybe it really was a divine encounter with strange and wonderful angels. Or maybe, just maybe, He glimpsed something from beyond the stars that his mind could barely comprehend. But here's the thing. Whether you believe the Ofanim are angels, aliens, or something else entirely, their very existence in our stories challenges us to think bigger. They remind us that the universe is vast and full of mysteries we've yet to unravel. And speaking of mysteries, the Ofanim have an even stranger secret, one that goes beyond questions of angels or aliens. It's about the burden they carry, a weight that would crush most beings. What is it like to see everything that ever was or will be, but never be able to change any of it? That's the heavy responsibility the Ofanim bear, and it's a mind-bending concept we're about to explore. The Ofanim carry a burden unlike any other. They see everything, past, present, and future, but can't change a thing. It's like watching a disaster unfold in slow motion, powerless to stop it. How do these celestial beings cope with such an impossible task? Their vision spans all of history, every choice we make, every path not taken. But here's the catch. They can't do anything about it. Imagine knowing exactly when your best friend will die, but being unable to prevent it. That's just a fraction of what the Ofanim experience constantly. This creates a strange situation. The Ofanim, beings of pure intellect and justice, are forced to watch injustice unfold without stepping in. They see every tear, hear every cry for help, but can't act. Is this a form of heavenly torture? The Ofanim situation raises big questions about free will and God's plan. If these mighty angels can't change events, what hope do we have? It challenges our understanding of choice and destiny. Put yourself in their position. You're watching a child make a terrible mistake that will ruin their life. You know how it'll play out, the pain it'll cause, the lives it'll destroy. But you can't say a word or lift a finger to stop it. How would that make you feel? Yet the Ofanim bear this burden. They carry the weight of all history and all possible futures without breaking. How? The answer lies in their trust in God's will. They understand something we struggle with. There's a bigger picture we can't see. Isaiah 55:8. 9 hints at this.
For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways,
declares the Lord. The Ofanim embody this truth. They see more than we ever could, but also know the limits of their understanding. Here's an intriguing thought. Is the Ofanim's unchangeable vision actually a form of perfect freedom? By accepting God's plan completely, are they free from the burden of choice that weighs on us? As we ponder this, we're left in awe of the Ofanim's existence. Their knowing challenges us to think differently about our lives. Maybe there's freedom in accepting we can't control everything, that there's a bigger plan at work. But not everyone agrees on what the Ofanim really are. Some see them as proof of God's plan. Others as a puzzle that challenges our understanding of reality. What if there's more to these wheel-like beings than we've considered? The answer might surprise you. Let's go deeper into the strange nature of Ofanim. Our human brains might not be able to fully process what these celestial beings really are. It's like trying to explain quantum physics to a goldfish. We simply don't have the mental capacity to grasp their true essence. Our three-dimensional world limits our understanding. We know up, down, left, right, forward, and backward. But Ofanim, they exist in dimensions we can't even imagine. They move in ways that shatter our understanding of physics. How can we wrap our minds around beings that see all of time and space at once? Some mystical traditions take this idea even further. They see Ofanim not as physical beings at all, but as pure concepts or divine emanations. Picture trying to hug the idea of justice or take a selfie with love. That's how abstract Ofanim might be. Here's a question to ponder. If we can't truly understand Ofanim, why did God reveal them to us? What's the point of showing us something our minds can't fully grasp? The answer might surprise you. Some scholars think glimpsing Ofanim expands our very concept of reality. It's like a cosmic wake-up call, jolting us out of our narrow view of the universe. By revealing these incomprehensible beings, God might be inviting us to stretch our minds and imagine possibilities beyond our everyday experience. Remember how you feel when you look up at the stars on a clear night? That sense of awe at the vastness of the universe? That's just a tiny taste of what encountering an Ofanim might be like. It reminds us that there's so much more to existence than what we can see and touch. Even the prophet Ezekiel struggled to describe his vision, saying he saw the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. Ezekiel 1:28. He knew he was only catching a glimpse of something far beyond his understanding. This idea of truly incomprehensible Ofanim challenges us to be humble. It suggests that no matter how much we learn about the universe, there will always be mysteries beyond our grasp. And maybe that's okay. Maybe part of the beauty of existence is in the wonder of the unknown. But just when you think you've wrapped your head around the idea of unknowable Ofanim, there's one more twist to their story. A twist that could change everything we've discussed so far. Are you ready to have your mind blown one last time? The Ofanim remind us that the universe holds wonders beyond our imagination. They challenge us to keep exploring and questioning what we think we know. As we've seen, these beings, with their all-seeing eyes, bring new meaning to the words,
"The eyes of the Lord are everywhere, keeping watch on the wicked and the good." Proverbs 15:3.
But the Ofanim are just the beginning. Ancient texts mention many other heavenly beings, each with their own incredible powers. What other divine mysteries are waiting for us to discover? Most assume death comes at random, a cruel, chaotic force that strikes without reason. But what if every death was carefully orchestrated? What if a single angel held the power to decide who lives and who dies? The texts speak of Samael, an angel so controversial that many scholars tried to erase him from religious history. His very existence raises disturbing questions about free will, divine mercy, and the true nature of God's plan. You've probably heard whispers about the angel of death, but the ancient scrolls reveal a truth far more unsettling than the legends suggest. The video appearing on your screen will expose the dark reality about heaven's most feared angel. Watch the video now